teacher go to school?
And here's your
What do you think of what's going on right now, mate?
These evil little invisible parasites.
Satan-worshipping Freemason moron.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
We're not run by factions.
Get the fuck out of camera!
There are much more powerful international forces in play.
Is this pink eye? Is this what pink eye is? I don't fucking know what's happening.
Please go outside and look at the moon quickly.
It's been crazy, guys, but guess what? It's how it is, mate.
Mate, because I want to do you slowly.
Well, I ain't spending any time on it.
Welcome to the Conditional Release Program, a podcast that delves into the netherworld of cults, crims and con artists. I'm Jack the Insider, otherwise known as Peter Hoisted for tax purposes.
And I'm Joel Hill, and we've got a big show coming to you today, from a footballer's turning a bit SovCit to the possibility that the 45th and 47th POTUS is a pedophile.
Yeah, so much alliteration. President Probable Pedo pushes Pam to put the kibosh on the Epstein files. All those P's aside, Margaret is not having it. And there is an almighty Barney going on inside Trump's base.
Yes, I think maybe it's P that's the problem in that situation there. That's a joke on the fact that Trump apparently likes to be urinated on. I don't think that's true. But, of course, we do have cookers fronting courts and some at least heading off to jail. Aww.
Frankly, I think some of these cookers will probably lower the tone in our prisons. There are standards in these places. Standards!
Yes, I must say, I reckon they're going to be red-pilling a lot of petty criminals who are going to come out and start fucking signing up for Rumble accounts, which is incredibly depressing. But, of course, one thing you can't get in prison is beer. And that's one thing you should celebrate. And by celebrate, I mean buy some. I mean, what are you doing? Why do you even have freedom if you can't drink beer? You may as well be in prison. So either go and commit some kind of crime and commit a term of incarceration, or go to cbco.beer and buy some delicious beer. And if you use the CRP10 code, you can get 10% off, which means you can save some money for your eventual lawyer if you do wind up having legal problems. This is not legal advice. I'm not a lawyer, but I would say don't go to jail. But the only reason why is that they don't have beer. And if they did have beer, it'd be some shit like Carlton Draft. And you don't want that. You don't want that. You want CVCO.
Potato vodka, Joel.
Yeah, it's more like, beer made from sort of ketchup and sadness.
And while we're on the piece, plugging that is, I'd like to plug ourselves just for a brief moment. We are seeking your support to keep this podcast going. We've got true crime investigations coming and some with you now. Interviews with victims, including Beck's harrowing story of familial abuse.
That was heavy.
Please give that episode a listen, as hard as it might be.
Yeah.
In order to keep bringing you this unique content, we are asking for a bit of help.
Yes, we are once again asking for your help, just like Bernie Sanders. And it does help. So look, you can join the Patreon. If you just look up Conditional Release Program on patreon.com.
Yeah, and for as little as $5 a month, you can have access to our Beyond the Paywall content and speak to me and Joel on regular Zoom meets.
Semi-regular. We need to do another one soon. But
we do.
The reality is, it's not just to support us. You actually get something for it. And our Black Label episodes are a little bit spicy. So it's definitely worth going to patreon.com and look up the Conditional Release Program and you'll find us. Throw us some money.
Yes, please. And now, without further ado, let's get on with the show.
As we discussed in the last Black Label episode, the so-called Epstein files are threatening to divide the MAGA cult and have a genuine lasting impact on Trump's legacy and possibly a severe impact on the short term in their chances at the midterms. Oh dear. Good. Investigations forever. With Kash Patel towing the line, holding firm to the whole, Epstein files, they don't exist. He didn't kill him. He killed himself. What are you talking about? Which is also being pushed by Trump. Dan Bongino seems ready to resign over the decision to withhold the Epstein files. But look, this may be in part due to this sort of endless speculation that Bongino himself has done on his podcast and media network through others, suggesting that the Epstein files do indeed exist and are the most important thing in the world and are protecting elite pedophiles from justice, which isn't a good thing inherently. So the longer he stays in the job, the lower his credibility. Kash Patel, on the other hand, has fuck all in his life outside of his role at the FBI. He's a middle nobody.
Public defender, Joel.
He's going to be on fucking welfare after this, I would say. So this is the trick with Bongino. He has a multi-million-dollar media machine that relies on his credibility, and without that, that kind of vanishes. It's a lot of money, and people like Dan Bongino tend to like money. So quitting the role in disgust will likely salvage his business interests and his media empire, but the question is, and I think this is something that's really going to be very interesting in the next sort of year or so, how far will he go to claw back the credibility he lost after saying Epstein didn't kill himself and there's nothing to see here? Like, is he going to give up the whole thing, you know? Is he going to start telling classified shit in his podcast? I mean, yeah, he might end up receiving a Epstein situation himself. And it won't be Hillary Clinton. It'll be Trump. Anyway, so look, Trump, on the other hand, is doubling down very hard on this and it's making him look very, very guilty. It's making him look a bit pedo-y. And he's backing his girl Bondi. He's used his Trump card, pun intended, to draw on the loyalty of supporter base to overcome this controversy by basically saying, if you like me, you'll shut up. Well, no. And failing to simply have his cult sort of fall into line, he has attempted to gaslight them by saying this is all a big hoax perpetrated by Democrats, random Democrats over the last 10 years, like Obama, Comey, someone else, Biden, just
Hillary, yeah,
just chuck them in a little dice roller and just see what comes up. And of course, a few stupid Republicans. Okay, great. This is a sign of clear desperation because this is clearly complete bullshit. Like everyone's seeing through this. It's so embarrassing to watch.
Well, Trump must acknowledge that the Epstein files do exist. I mean, the client list was always a bit dubious.
That is dubious, yeah.
But there are documents. There are the contents of his safe and property seized by the FBI when he was arrested in 2019. Now, there's other images. There's talk of other images. Michael Wolff, biographer, journalist, etc., has talked about 3 images. One that includes 3 girls, topless girls, believed to be teenagers at the oldest, all being hugged by Trump, and another one with 5 girls are all standing and laughing at the wet patch in Trump's trousers. That's 2 of the 3 photos that Wolf talks about.
That is a lot.
There's a lot of stuff. In fact, there was one of the Epstein victims has come forward and said that she told the FBI all the way back in 2003 that they should have a good look at Trump. She makes no specific allegations about Trump, but she knew sort of Trump was coursing through the building while she was there. Staggering stuff. But the thing is, he's gone to his own base and said, you're all idiots and stop talking about it. And that's just that's just an invitation to talk about nothing else.
Oh, exactly. Some of these people have opposition defiant disorder. Telling them to do something, they'll do the exact opposite. That's the thing that Trump's done so well, is capitalize on this idea and basically say, they're telling you what to do. Don't do what they want you to do. Do this, which happens to be what he wants them to do. It's a great masterstroke and it's worked out beautifully. He's basically dealing with adult children.
Well, but it's taken a bit of a sinister turn in that Bondi is now investigating the Obama administration, including the president himself, the 44th president himself, or 43rd, I mean 44th, and about the spying into the Trump campaign. So this is their way to deflect. So it's kind of stop talking about it, and here's the deflection.
But Tulsi Gabbard is saying, what, isn't she accusing treason?
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad coming from a Russian asset.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if she's the kind of person who can really throw the word treason around. But let's face it, in this administration, you can get away with saying fucking anything. But it's pretty wild because, as far as I know, treason is punishable by death. Yeah. So, but of course, this is a distraction.
The old firing squad for that one too.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to shoot Obama, but fuck, man, these guys really do that thing of just I know we're not fascists, but, and you're like, I'm not sure, maybe you are. Well,
the saving grace for Obama is that the Supreme Court has said that pretty much a US president cannot be charged or convicted with an offence.
Yeah, true.
Either prior to or post presidency.
Yeah, I thought it was more during their official duties.
Sorry, yes, you're quite right. But, of course, what's alleged is that this occurred during the 2016 administration
election, which I guess kind of gets the Trump administration out of hot water because now they don't actually have to do this. They can go, oh no, but he had immunity. We didn't think about that. Whoops. As opposed to being oh shit, we're chasing the car, but now we've caught the car and we're not sure what to do with it, which is every dog's worst nightmare, really. But
Trump posted on True Social just a couple of hours ago that sort of Brady Bunch type scene with Obama as pretty much Mr. Brady, and a number of Obama officials all around there, and him suggesting, how come one of them had made all this money? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Release the Epstein files, you pedo. Probable.
Put on your big boy pants and release the files.
Yeah.
Just like Cash Patel
Yeah,
asked.
that's what Cash said.
That's what Cash said. So yeah, it is pretty wild stuff, but of course this is all distraction bullshit. But yeah, it is bizarre. Do you remember Burisma, where Biden was apparently the big guy and he was getting 2%, and now we've just seen an age of corruption just unrivaled. Trump shaking down law firms by threatening to remove their access to like security authorizations.
The Tonight Show's been cancelled. Pretty much.
Tonight Show's been cancelled
on a piece of sycophancy by CBS.
I do take Chaz's stance, which is that there is a possibility and a feasible excuse for the fact that there is a financial reason for it, because TV just isn't the moneymaker that it was. But at the same time, I find it very difficult to believe in the current context.
The more I've looked into it, it was losing money. It had been losing a lot of money. It was losing less money in recent times. And, of course, Steve Colbert criticised CBS for kowtowing
yes, he did.
To the Trump administration and to Trump himself.
Which I'm sure they loved.
And not long after that, in fact, before the very next show, gone.
Yeah, well, it's very similar to when Norm Macdonald got fired from Saturday Night Live. When Norm Macdonald was called into Don Olmeyer's office, he said, "You're not funny." And he basically just had to go, well, I guess I'm not funny then. So Colbert's in the situation where basically you can't say it's political interference, because you can say, like, yeah, like it lost money and things like that. But it's so clearly obvious that this is political interference from Trump. Like, it's really, really difficult to say otherwise. But you can say there are financial reasons. The spreadsheet didn't add up.
Well, there'd be financial reasons across all free-to-air television in
There'd
the
be like
United States.
everything.
It's
yeah,
really
exactly.
not the point. I mean, the fact that Trump gloated over Colbert's sacking,
yeah,
and
exactly.
then suggested that Jimmy Kimmel, another late-night critic of Trump's, should be next.
Yeah,
it's kind of chilling, you know. I mean, it's
very chilling.
This guy interferes with media all the time.
And I don't think Trump was asking for it or anything. I don't think there was any backroom calls. I think they did something they thought he'd like, and then he responded in kind by saying, "I did like that." And of course, now the merger is just one step closer.
Well, the media has responded to the Epstein file stuff with the Wall Street Journal, a conservative newspaper, if there ever was one.
Exactly.
On July 17, the Journal reported that Jeffrey Epstein was gifted a leather-bound book of letters from his friends for his 50th birthday, all collated and put together by Ghislaine Maxwell, and one of them was from Donald Trump. Now, from the article, the letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Journal, is bawdy, like others in the album. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. He loves the texter, does the Donald. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking public pubic hair. Now,
that's reassuring.
Was not shown by the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
But they described it. The letter concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Ooh. And Trump responded in an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening. Trump denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. "This is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story. I never wrote a picture in my life."
Yeah.
He's
What?
so dumb.
I know.
"I don't draw pictures of women," he said. "It's not my language. It's not my words." He told the Journal he was preparing to file a lawsuit if it published the article. "I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else," he said.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of those things was true, and the other was not. You see, it was quickly discovered that not only does the Donald like to doodle, but his signed drawings have been auctioned by Sotheby's for charity. Donald said in his 2008 book, "Trump, Never Give Up, How I Turn My Biggest Challenges into Success," which is just something you just see on LinkedIn and just cry. But anyway, he said this.
"It takes me a few minutes to draw something. In my case, it's usually a building or a cityscape of skyscrapers and then sign my name. But it raises thousands of dollars to help the hungry in New York."
Cool. Yeah, great. So
He loves the
benevolent.
hungry.
He does. He loves the hungry, but robbing children's charities is not a problem. So anyway, you can figure out how that all reconciles in hell. So more from the Journal. This was what was in the actual letter quoted above. So inside the outline of the naked woman was a typewritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein written in the third person. And this is what it said.
Voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything, the note began.
Mm-hmm.
Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey says, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Trump replies, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret.
Isn't that just so cooked? So, like, you can see why this, like, line that everyone's talking about, may every day be another wonderful secret, it's actually out of context insofar as the rest of the thing makes it way more creepy. Anyway, so Trump denied this by saying he never uses the word enigma, which, of course, I mean, we have the internet now. People immediately looked into and found several instances of Trump using the word enigma, including in his speeches and his books, which, look, you can argue he didn't write, but it's there. So Trump is suing the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion in damages, which, I mean, usually he blows out the figure, but maybe that's kind of reasonable in this situation. It's been lodged in a Florida court because jurisdiction shopping in the US is totally a thing, and they're probably going for a sympathetic judge, but under federal libel laws. I just think that discovery in this is going to be like...
Yeah, I think there are concerns about who the judge will be.
Yeah. That's why it's in Florida.
That's always an issue with Trump matters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no intimate knowledge about the processes in deciding to publish this, but the Wall Street Journal is a paper not founded on just throwing out idle gossip.
No.
So they have substantiated that this has come from Trump.
Yeah.
And as you say, discovery is going to be insane. You know,
mm-hmm. It's going to be fucking
the
wild.
sorts of things that news will ask for will be considerable.
Yeah.
And there also is a strong chance that Trump will be deposed, that he will give a deposition under oath, and that he could give evidence under oath in a courtroom.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, I don't think it's going to get that far. That's my gut feeling, but...
Well, I guarantee you news won't settle on this. I guarantee you they won't.
I think Trump will withdraw. I think Trump's doing this because he needs to look like he's doing something, and he'll withdraw and he'll say something like, you know, it's all rigged and blah, 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 and it's a hoax or whatever, and just try to lie his way out of it as usual. But yeah, I mean, Trump's taking on Rupert Murdoch, which is ill-advised.
Well, Trump, yes, did say, I look forward to getting Rupert Murdoch to testify in my lawsuit against him. He sued Murdoch and I think also the chief... the editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal, as well as News Corp. He said, I look forward to getting Rupert Murdoch to testify in my lawsuit against him. I don't know why Murdoch would be required to testify.
I have no idea
and his
either.
pile of garbage newspaper, the WSJ, that will be an interesting experience.
It's weird, like, you know, Trump's really confident because Rupert Murdoch, for better or worse, would walk into a room and there could be 7 prime ministers and presidents in that room, and they will all simultaneously shit their pants and think, I need to make sure the next 10 minutes go perfectly, because that is one of the most powerful men that's ever lived. And that, you know, that is what it is. And this fucking asshole is just there like, oh, this old bitch, I'm going to fucking take him on. You know what? If Rupert Murdoch turns on Trump, it's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt him big style. Rupert Murdoch made Trump. I think he can destroy him. But
I mean, all that aside, all the sort of political motivations, it's really not what the Wall Street Journal's about. But Wall Street Journal's been hugely critical of Trump's tariff policy. They called it a dumb idea in an editorial,
which is fair enough.
And they've been after him over that. And they've been after him on this alone, on the Epstein file stuff. So I don't see any political motive from News Corp. They're just publishing what comes through their, you know, investigative reporters.
This is a massive scoop.
Are doing, and their various commentators are doing.
Yeah, this is a huge scoop. This is great journalism. Like, and yeah, like you would never leave this one at the door. But yeah, like I mean, look, when it comes down to it, like Rupert Murdoch doesn't have a lot to do with this, and this is one of the things that people like Elon Musk and all those fuckwits, they all want independent media, and the reason why they want independent media is independent media is malleable. You can bully independent media. It's low budget, it's easy to fuck with, it's mostly opinion, and it's really simple, and people love it. It's a dopamine hit, no worries. Rupert Murdoch, for better or worse, does actually, and you know this, allows the writers to say what they want to say. Yes, he does employ certain people who say certain things. I get that. Like Andrew Bolt's going to be Andrew Bolt. But at the same time, it's not like he tells Andrew Bolt what to say. He just knows what Andrew Bolt's going to say, and that's fine. But when it comes to this sort of idea of taking on Rupert Murdoch fundamentally in this regard, I wouldn't do that. But the Wall Street Journal isn't Rupert Murdoch. They would, I assume, have editorial independence. And yes, they're a conservative masthead, and they would run that way. But it's not like Rupert Murdoch's in there micromanaging the place. Unlike people like Dan Bongino and shit like that, who run their media empires on a narrative and are unashamedly doing so. I just wanted to add that in. I think that's something that Chaz Licciardello talked about recently, which I fucking agreed with. And it was also the worst part. He said, you might miss Rupert when he's gone, and a small part of me just died inside. I'm like, oh, fuck, maybe editorial independence is going to die with Rupert. That sucks. Anyway, don't want to talk about that because that's just depressing and weird. But look, this is the thing, right? So in order to appease the MAGA crowd, assuming they're idiots, of course, which they often are, Trump has authorized Bondi to release some of the grand jury testimony, which is fucking useless, and it's subject to court approval anyway. Yeah, it'll be redacted
absolutely
as fuck.
Pointless. Doesn't show the investigative work. So what people are demanding in terms of the Epstein files is what was found in Epstein's New York apartment, what was found in searches of his other properties.
Yeah.
According to Michael Wolff, there are photographs.
Yeah.
According to Pam Bondi, there are hundreds of hours of child pornography.
That sounds like
that's
bullshit.
Part of the rationale for not releasing anything. Mm-hmm. And you go, well, just don't release that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's an easy one.
Release the videos. We don't really need to see them. In fact, it would be an offence for you to release them and an offence for us to watch them.
No shit. They think they're mugs. That's the problem.
But, you know, just saying that it's all dripping in child pornography is kind of, you know, this is how they've got this so badly wrong. That this is an issue. They pumped up all this sort of nonsense about pedophilia in high places and all this sort of stuff, and then they've just backed away from it. So it looks like they're all complicit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like when it comes to the idea of like, you know, sort of spinning this as being like, oh, well, the Democrats want this oral release. This is what Tim Pool was saying, who is such a fucking shill. The Democrats want this release because they're all just sick fucking pedophiles and they can't wait to get the, you know, the juicy porn from Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. That's just an insane piece of spin. But like, you can't take yourself seriously if you say that. I'm embarrassed on his behalf. I'm also embarrassed on my behalf not having as much money as he does. But it's just bizarre that so many morons are in such positions of influence and power right now, and someone can sit in front of a microphone and say Democrats are making people release child porn because they're sick and we can't do this and we've got to protect ourselves from these people. You're like, mate, just take a deep breath, go have a cigarette and calm down, because that you are a fucking idiot. Anyway, it's upsetting. It's like, but the thing is, this is good because I do like seeing Trump and his MAGA.
Oh, he's squirming. He's squirming like you wouldn't believe.
And so he should. But
and he's got plenty to squirm about. I mean, you know, this is what he said in 2005 at a teenage girl, basically beauty pageant.
One of his ones, yeah.
I'll go backstage. Everyone's getting dressed, and I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant. They're standing there with no clothes, and you see these incredible-looking women. No, actually, they're teenagers. That was my bit. I sort of get away with things like that.
You sort of do.
Again, we're getting into sort of conspiracy theories a bit. We don't want to do that. But his pageants it's being argued along those sort of conspiracy lines that these pageants were a way of grooming young girls.
Yeah. And that's a reasonable conspiracy theory.
Epstein was sort of in lockstep with him.
Of course. I mean, like, that's not an unreasonable thing to think. It really isn't. This is where the sort of developing scandal here, which is an old scandal, but I think it's going to get a second wind, which is a company called Elite Models, which I only heard of recently, and I'm surprised I haven't heard of this before. It's run by a guy named John Casablancas, and this guy's company even featured Trump's daughter Ivanka, which we know they have a very creepy relationship. Donald hosted parties at his house for models from the agency, some of which were as young as 14. The news story said 14 to 17, but I'm sure maybe a few 18-year-olds snuck in there. So I'm just going to say as young as 14. I'm not going to speculate in the idea that there was a hard cutoff limit of 18. Like, if it's not pedophilia, I have no interest. Like, that's weird. This was part of a Guardian investigation from 2020 that for some reason didn't quite make it into Margosphere and didn't make it into my headlines either. I don't know why this got past me because it's such a big story. But now that you've got this MAGA thirst for blood and this sort of fishy feeling that Trump might like him young, I think this is going to get a bit of a second wind because, like, this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of reporting around at the moment. I think Casablanca is deceased now, isn't he?
I would say so, but I just don't know.
I think there were basically 4 guys in the frame. Trump is one, Epstein, there's Casablancas, and then there's another one. And I think the other Casablancas and the other individual are deceased as well.
Yeah, he did. He died in 2013.
And of course, Epstein is too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, this from the article in the Guardian. 4 former elite models say that in the late 80s or early 90s, when they were teenagers, the agency required them to attend private dinners with Trump, Casablancas, and sometimes other men. One was Shayna Love, an Australian model who was 16 when she came to New York for the first time in the summer of 1991. Recalling a dinner she attended, she says now, "It was presented as our duty as models at the agency. It wasn't an invitation. It was like, you have to go and do this." She says the dinner she attended, at which 10 or 15 models were present, was served at a long table in a private area of an upmarket restaurant. I was at one end with John, and Trump was up the other end, surrounded by the other girls.
Mm-hmm. It's very sus. It's very sus. Look, we have to make it very clear that no allegations of sexual assault on Trump's behalf are made in the article. There are allegations of sexual assault and a conversation about that sort of thing, but not regarding Trump.
Not in this article, yeah.
And I just think that this is a very sort of unpleasant and overt show of power from Donald Trump. And it shows that he, over a long period of time, liked to ingratiate himself into circles of attractive young women, which is very much what Epstein did. You know, Epstein took it very far, but like this is, you know, these are very similar vibes. There's a lot of parallels here. So, I mean, look, when it comes down to it, they never really seem to get emotionally invested in the fact that he was sexually inappropriate teenage girls at pageants that he ran, or the Elite Model Agency, which was a story, you know, before.
Yeah. These things are accepted facts.
It's sort of like just in the fucking, in the pantheon, but they are deeply emotionally invested in what Jeffrey Epstein got up to, and he's up to his fucking nuts in it. And it's a part of their like conspiratorial ideological universe, and that's kind of his own fault. He fostered this, so fuck him. But look, I think we both figured, I think you said 6 months, I think I agreed, that it would be about that long for the Trump administration to start to crumble. I didn't think it was going to be Epstein that did it. I'm surprised by this.
It's interesting, isn't it? You know, that the man that he's he sooled his attorney general onto Obama. Obama had 2 consecutive terms, not one scandal. If you ignore that he wore a
tan suit,
a brown suit one day.
Yeah.
Which Fox News just went nuts on.
So weird.
But here, 6 months in, we're actually discussing whether the president of the United States is a pedophile or not.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, color me unsurprised.
Cows have fucking masks on.
Everybody is up for the high jump if they deserve it. If they deserve to hang, they will hang.
Rise up, Australia. Men of Australia, time to step up and be real men. Protect your kids or go down biggest cowards this country has ever seen. Yeah. Hang that animals.
So we do have a couple of Cooker crime updates, you know. The first one's a bit old now, but for anyone who didn't see this one come up, Raina Cruise, the anti-vaxxer IMOP candidate who got into a fight after being kicked out of a hotel after an anti-vaccination rally where the judge said she got a bit heated. And that was in Adelaide, the sunny streets of Adelaide, where she attacked a pregnant police officer in an altercation outside on Rundle Street, which sounds like a shit place to hang out past 8 p.m. And this whole thing occurred in the sunny days of the pandemic in the 16th of October in 2021.
Really vicious attack. Really a vicious attack on a police officer. Cruise previously pleaded guilty to 2 counts of aggravated assault, but was found guilty of intentionally causing harm to Constable Anthea Beck. She was basically scalped. She had her hair ripped from her scalp.
That's what media reports say, yep. Yeah, there's
during
photos.
the incident. And Anthea Beck was pregnant at the time as Cruise dragged her by the hair to the ground. The verdict was handed down on the 17th of October 2023.
Yeah, so Cruise was initially given a 3-year good behaviour bond, which included 100 hours of community service and an alcohol ban. One of the things
Not
really...
enough.
No, well... Apparently others agree. So when she left the court, a Channel 9 journo asked her if she wanted to say anything to the victim, which is the police officer, Anthea Beck. And Cruise said...
Yes, I would say, don't vaccinate your daughter.
Mm-hmm. So she can get fucked. So, look, a lack of a custodial sentence really pissed off the police in South Australia, unsurprisingly. And that wound up with the DPP appealing the sentence.
Oh, there was actually outrage in the community too.
Oh, the comments on Facebook were scathing. There was like one cooker for 100.
I mean, obviously you would understand police looking after one of their own pregnant officer, basically had a hair torn out by the roots, and some of us would remember the photographs of those injuries.
Yeah,
pretty horrific, and just nowhere near community standards was the sentence. 100 hours of community service.
Well,
Don't
the whole
drink
sentence...
piss. Come on.
The sentence was basically based on the whole sob story about, like, you know, she'd lost a child. She, you know, had all these bad things happen in her life.
There was an incredible amount of grief in her life, wasn't there?
Yeah, but it's not something I can verify. And I must say, cookers do lie.
It was accepted by the judge.
It was accepted by the judge, but, like, you know, I just can say that in my experience, cookers tend to lie, and it was a suspiciously large amount of bad things happening in a very short period of time.
She'd certainly had a lot of bad luck,
yes.
Joel.
Well, that bad luck got compounded. So she said outside the courtroom she was planning an appeal herself, which was an insanely stupid thing to say, in my opinion. But like, this is that thing, the cooker confidence, right? Like, you just like, you know what? Fuck, this is an injustice.
I've had a win. I'm gonna push harder.
That's what I heard. I think maybe like Harry Hobbs or something, like one of the SovCits guys or pseudo law sort of specialists, who was saying that, like, I think it was on Law Report, ABC Law Report, saying how someone was ready to appeal like straight away, even though they'd sort of won a point or something like that, because they were just so ready to just like defy court orders and just, you know, kick back. But look, you know, when it comes down to it, like, even like a slight on their character, it's this narcissistic thing. They're always going to have this idea of like, no, I must clear my perfect name. No, you're an IMOP candidate. Your name sucks. So in this situation, you've got an idiot who assaulted a cop, walked from the courtroom, tells her not to vaccinate her daughter to a journo with a camera, and then thinks, you know what? I might go for my hat and appeal. She's not a smart woman, but she actually did appeal. And this is one of those things that I had to go and do my paywalled court thing and download the judgment, the whole thing, because she did actually appeal to have the conviction overturned. Wow. This is on the basis of unlawful arrest, basically due to procedural issues. Yeah. Okay. So basically, because of the blue, she reckons there was a bunch of procedural things that didn't happen, you know, not identifying herself in certain ways and things like that. She's wearing a uniform.
I mean, what was she appealing? I mean, look, I don't want to do the 100 hours community service.
Yeah, it's embarrassing as fuck. So her appeal was dismissed.
And being given a 3-year bond means no conviction.
Well, no, I believe it was saying it was a conviction, but I'm not sure about that, the ins and outs of that. I only got 52 in criminal law, so I can't say. But
if she's given a 3-year good behaviour bond, there's no conviction. I mean, I'm just looking at what's written here, but I imagine she was not convicted.
Yeah, no, like as far as I saw, it was a conviction with a 3-year suspended sentence, which is a good behaviour bond.
Oh, that might be that sounds a bit better.
Yeah, I read the fucking most of the judgment because I just wasted so much time on this. Anyway, so look, the appeal to overturn the sentence that was allowed. As you may, we were sort of leading to that. You might have noticed that. You probably already know that because you guys are listeners. You're probably on the shitposting group and all that sort of thing. And the sentence was set aside. Oh, so the good behaviour bond, the suspended sentence, just set aside. Yep. And she was resentenced to 3 years, 9 months, and 2 weeks. And, to add insult to injury, a $500 fine. Ouch.
Again, I worry about some of the other women in corrective services in South Australia, what they're going to do with this maniac.
I mean, if you look at the video, she's pretty good on her feet. If anyone tries to fuck with her.
I saw her on the day of her sentencing, actually. And and she just didn't seem at all bothered. by the prospect of prison. And I think she said something about tell my daughter I love her, and that was it.
Feed the dogs or something. Yeah. It was kind of sad in that regard.
Crass.
But like some of these people have traumatic brain injuries and some of their brains don't work. Like, people have their frontal lobe not working and they have no fucking inhibitions. And then these situations happen. And some judges try to be nice and be lenient, but it's just like this person's frontal lobe's not coming back. They're still going to do this shit. So, yeah, you need to train the rest of their brain to really not want to go to jail. Anyway, she's eligible for parole in 2 short years.
She's also, what is she, an aromatherapist or some sort of bogus nonsense as well?
It's the usual. It's the cooker trifecta. She does something like that. And, yeah.
Now, some of you will recall Damien Richardson from Neighbours or even Underbelly if you watched that. But most of you will recall him as a cooker. And maybe even a little bit of an artsy.
Allegedly. So Richardson was, as most cookers I wanted to do, recorded committing a crime and is now really upset that he's being charged with said crime. That was recorded in public, willingly, consciously.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah, Idiot. There's a little tip for the youngsters out there. If you're gonna make Nazi salutes, maybe don't publish them, maybe don't broadcast them live.
Don't record it. Yeah, maybe just don't do that. This is the thing with tattoos as well. Criminals have tattoos, and it's like, oh, so you decided to uniquely identify yourself for police. Good, thanks, man. I really appreciate that because it would have been so hard to find you otherwise.
But first, a little bit of background. For those who don't know, the former soapy star gave a speech at a National Workers Alliance. Ooh. Sounds like a trade union, but isn't. A National Workers Alliance event in September 2024. Those who don't know, the National Workers Alliance has fuck all to do with workers, but lots to do with white supremacy.
Yes, it does.
Ironically, the website for the organisation features what appears to be an Australian soldier from World War II. Mate, that's where we fought the Nazis. You remember that?
We fought them. Yeah.
Bit weird. Anyway, founded by very angry, the group, that is the National Workers Alliance, is founded by a very angry young man by the name of Matt Trehey. Trehey, Trihey, who likes speaking into microphones to a handful of people a metre away.
That's what they do.
It's all the usual shit about how immigrants are the root of all our problems and multiculturalism has failed.
Yeah, coming from a man of, great stature that really we should be a fucking, example to us all. So look, Damien salute at the event was followed by, am I going to get fined now? Am I going to go to jail for 5 years? And I mean, look, these are kind of questions for the judge, I suppose, but not really, because apparently he's facing a fine of up to $23,000. So yes, am I going to be fined now? Quite possibly. Or 12 months in jail, which is a lot less than 5 years.
That's the maximum, isn't it?
That's the maximum. So not only is Damien a fucking alleged Nazi asshole, hasn't really bothered to look into the law that he's complaining about. So, classic cooker, really. They don't tend to dwell on details, do they? So, hilariously, the defense have claimed the gesture was, quote, was a gesture that was made without thought to what the ramifications could be, which I guess could be argued.
He did actually talk about those ramifications. He got it wrong. But he was talking about ramifications.
He did have no idea what the penalty was under the Act. So it's a strong legal defense in my books. I reckon Dennis Denudo's done a fucking great job there. Unfortunately, the magistrate actually did refer to Richardson's comments, which appear to imply, allegedly, that he knew it could lead to fines and imprisonment. So look, you can't get past some magistrates. You've got your sole legal strategy. You kick for the goal, and you don't get the behind. You go out of bounds on the full, and the other team gets the ball. You fucking idiot. Anyway, it's in the video. Oh, anyway, I get frustrated because it's just, I don't know.
It is really just royal stupidity and ugliness too.
I feel like I'm living in a simulation.
He deserves a year's holiday on that alone.
He fucking does, right? His lawyer deserves a fucking 6-month penalty just for letting that happen. So the gesture was warmly received, mostly because the audience was full of loud Nazis.
Nazis?
And we're not talking like soapy star Nazis, not alleged Nazis, like Blair Cottrell. So, yeah, the Aryan master race who really likes human growth hormones. So when Trehey was quizzed by ABC News on why Cottrell was there, he said this.
Neither Damien or I have ever been members of Nazi organisations, and we have no connection with the NSN.
Mm-hmm.
I am a free speech advocate and have no control over who purchases online tickets to my events. Really?
Yeah, because it's funny. I don't tend to have Nazis turning up to events that I go to. Why is that? Is that weird? I wonder if we looked at Matt's direct messages on social media, if we would feel like those comments lined up with reality. Yeah. Anyway, so look, last we heard of this whole thing was that Richardson was attempting to get a diversion, which is indeed a slap on the wrist with no conviction recorded, as we sort of spoke of before. Unfortunately, this week that was rejected by prosecutors. Unsurprisingly, he recorded himself committing the crime, and then he said, "Oh my God, I just committed a crime." So I just feel like the prosecutors are in a plum position to get a conviction recorded at this point. I don't want to talk. This is on foot, right? I shouldn't be, prejudicing matters before the courts, but my God, this is a slam dunk. So previously, Richardson appeared to be relying on the defense that only people who have openly declared they are Nazis can be convicted, which is an incredible piece of brain football.
Yeah, the legislation it doesn't really
say that.
It
no.
doesn't say, listen, we're only going to prosecute the ones the Nazis who make Nazi salutes, not just anybody.
Yeah, it must be a Nazi is not in the fucking legislation. So that is the basis of it, basically. And this is this weird idea of how legal precedent works. They're trying to form a legal precedent that basically you can't attribute a Nazi salute to someone unless you know they're a Nazi. That is...
Tell that to Elon Musk.
But he sort of got away with it, right? They went, who's not a Nazi? It can't be a Nazi salute. Like... This is actually...
He's just on ketamine right now.
Yes.
And some mushrooms.
And he's got a developmental issue, which may or may not be autistic.
It makes him a bit of a Nazi.
Yeah. Ketamine always makes me a Nazi. Man, I do a bump and I just hate the Jews. Honestly, these people are fucked. So, it's very frustrating, but it's so funny now you brought Elon Musk up. I'm like, holy shit, maybe that's where this legal defense has come from. The idea that, hold on, Elon Musk got away with it because he's not...
Maybe use the Musk defense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my lad. I was on a lot of drugs at the time.
Well, I mean, that should be next, to be fair. But, so this isn't the end of the legal defenses, and some really, really good ones in here. He's not going to let this one go, and he may end up using a protractor, but we're going to get back to that in a second. So where do we go from here?
Look, so the question remains, was it a Nazi gesture or a salute? And if so, could he be exempt under the Act as performing it out of genuine artistic purpose?
Yeah, so that is in
if I call Damien Richardson an artist.
Well, that's where we can start this concept. I wouldn't like to see the way this is handled in court because I think it would be very sad, but also quite funny. It's not going to be that. But also, this I really enjoyed. And this is probably a part of the sort of the establishing the common law behind what a Nazi salute is and how it can be prosecuted, blah, blah, blah. So the prosecutors are potentially planning to call an expert witness to explain what constitutes a Nazi salute. And the defense lawyer said if such an expert is called, he will be cross-examined on the mathematical formula of a Nazi salute, including how high the arm must be raised and the position of the fingers.
That seems to be clutching at straws.
I would say, pun intended, that's a reach. So just to make sure everyone knows how dumb this is about to get, defense lawyer Peter Monagle said this.
We would spend extensive time if an expert was called in regards to that. There seems to be some sort of mathematical formula about the arm and whether the fingers are together.
Who fucking thinks like that? Who fucking comes up with that?
This is really clutching at straws.
It's so good. I think my reaching was better, but at the same time, I don't want to wear it out. I'm going to bring that one out in another episode. Reaching, Nazi salute. I'm happy with that one. So one can expect a thrilling court case full of Pythagorean cooker-mouse trying to establish that Damo's fingers were just not quite there. No, the fingers. No. Oh.
Has he gone the limp Nazi salute?
Yeah.
Has he gone the limp one? Oh.
Yeah, where's your arm at, mate? Yeah, so it's pretty embarrassing. And quite ironically, and I really enjoyed this, Richardson claims he's been shamed by his actual neighbours. This is great, who have placed posters around him of him in the area, informing the neighborhood, suggesting that he might actually not be a good neighbor.
Everybody needs good neighbors.
Exactly. The irony is just dripping off it. How do these people make themselves so funny?
That man has fallen a long way, and I think he's still got a bit further to go.
I don't think he was very high up to start with.
But he has fallen a long way from one of our most loved, what do we call it, series, soap operas.
I hadn't heard of him before this.
And now this.
Well, look, I just like the fact
Standing tall before the man to decide whether his fingers were a little bit limp or his elbow was a little bit cocked or uncocked, to determine if he was going the full Nazi. He's actually admitted going the full Nazi on a live after he did it.
Yeah, he sort of nailed that in. I really do like also the fact that, I can't remember what it was, and we mentioned this before, that he retired from acting during the pandemic. I'm like, I don't think you retired, Damien. I think you kind of quit.
Yeah, it's kind of it's an enforced retirement. I can't see him. There's screaming need for him from productions calling casting agencies. Have you got that the Nazi guy?
Yeah, from Neighbours. You know, the one that no one cares about?
Is he available right now?
Yeah, the one that no one was really interested in. He's not particularly handsome or talented, but he was very available, you know.
What do you mean, that limp-wristed Nazi salute?
Yeah, if he could pull off a real Nazi salute, maybe give him a job.
Anyway, this is all allegedly. He has not been found guilty yet, listeners.
No.
And we make no comment about his guilt or innocence. That is to be determined.
That is to be determined by the courts.
I think it's just at a magistrate's level, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's going to even go to jail.
And no doubt it'll be determined. Again, would he get his prison sentence? I mean, perhaps we shouldn't be talking about that either. Would he get a prison sentence? I doubt it.
A month, maybe.
I mean, he should, but just from being really, really
just
stupid.
Being such an asshole and wasting the court's time.
I doubt, Damien, for all his mock toughness, he's not going to go all that well down a Barwon prison.
No, he'll wind up in a leisure camp.
We fired you, we sacked you, we dismissed you as what? As garbage, because that's all you are. You're a criminal, you're a traitor, and you're going to the biggest barbecue in history. So from Christmas dinner to you are the dinner.
Thank you, that's what I'll go with.
And Warren Tredrea is a former AFL footballer who played 281 games for the Port Adelaide Football Club, including a 2004 AFL premiership as captain of the club. Port Adelaide's one and only premiership in the AFL.
Fancy.
He's also a bit of a fucking cooker.
Yeah, so it turns out.
He retired in 2010, and like many former AFL greats, he took up a job on the telly, talking about sports, making a casual $192,000 a year, reading the sports on the nightly news in Adelaide, and doing various appearances on the network. Unfortunately, this fairly sweet position came to an abrupt end when Tredrea refused to comply with Channel 9's COVID vaccination policy.
Aww.
Now, Tredrea is not an anti-vaxxer.
No.
He's not an anti-vaxxer.
No.
He is pro-choice.
Yes.
Not when it comes to abortion.
I'll bet.
And his choice is nah.
No, thanks.
But he is vaccinated. Fully vaccinated. In fact, he said...
Yep. No, I'm not. I'm fully vaccinated. But I'm not COVID vaccinated. Do you see an issue there? Everyone is entitled to what they want to do because it's your body.
Oh, it is too. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think fully vaccinated means what you think it means, Tredrea.
Fully. It just seems very comprehensive.
But he is pro-choice. And he's fully vaccinated,
Good.
so he says.
Good.
There's only one possible conclusion to make here. Tredrea was unfairly dismissed by Channel 9,
That's
so he called up his best buddy, Dennis Denuto, and in 2023 he went to court, took Channel 9 to court. He sought $5.77 million in damages, despite the contract that he had signed with Channel 9, stipulating that damages for breach of contract were limited to 1 month's remuneration.
Well, look, he signed it with his straw man.
He's not the brightest, not the sharpest tool in the shed, the Treaders.
Yeah, and he might have taken a few knocks to the head, but that'll become more clear as time goes on. So, look, unfortunately, he lost. And that's unfortunate. So basically, Nine not only claimed they were justified in firing him, but like they disputed the probability of renewal due to performance concerns. So it's like, look, the vaccine aside,
you suck, Treaders.
You shit. Yeah, and that apparently
you
they
stumble bum motherfucker. Read the goddamn screen and get on with it.
Just read the line. And apparently they even played like video in court of him like fucking up on, that's embarrassing as shit. Yeah. So basically, Nine argued in court that he sucked at his job regardless of vaccination status, which is
that's cruel. That's cruel.
You wouldn't enjoy that. He brought this upon himself.
But Warren is a fighter.
Yeah.
Do you think he would have won the 2004 AFL Premiership if he simply took a kicking and didn't get up? No. Real men appeal.
That's right.
Yeah, he lost that one too. Though.
Yeah, that was
the appeal was dismissed.
Yeah.
Now, I must admit, I saw a bit of a red flag when I looked up the case. It's not Tredrea v Channel 9, but...
Oh, I'm going to give you this one. Tredrea's Investments Proprietary Limited.
Treaders!
As trustee for Warren Tredrea Trust versus Channel 9 South Australia. A complex corporate structure there. And look, I didn't get very good marks in corporate. I just got them back. I think it was like a 61. But I know something funny's going on there, man. Like, is it a tax ploy? Like, what are you doing? Like, why is your company a trustee for your trust? Why are you being so fucking weird about this? Anyway, so look, it seems a bit elaborate, but it's a pretty boring situation. Basically, dude refuses jab, goes to court, loses. Sure, no worries. But the fun happens when it comes to costs.
Costs? Yeah, because it's not cheap. You know, it's not free.
Yeah.
Should be free.
It would be actually quite nice if justice was free, but that's a whole other story.
In the first instance, Treaders lost, but the court decided that each party should pay their own costs.
Easy.
Very reasonable.
There you go.
Nine was going for costs, but the judge showed Treaders some mercy.
That's nice.
And then he went back for his...
Oh, yes, he did.
After losing the appeal, he was up for about $200,000.
No, dear.
Enter Wazza of the family Treaders. No legal fiction. He is not an entity, legal person, citizen, or resident. Just pure living man and kicks a footy every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he can be defined by that, but not by his fucking straw man. See, what the beak didn't understand is that Treaders had this sorted. He's already settled the debt. For starters, Wazza of the family Treaders, the clan, had sent Nine a promissory note. And they missed that 72-hour deadline to respond, which, as we all know, conforms to the legal principle that silence equals acceptance. I learned that my first semester. No, it's definitely a thing. I should probably stipulate it's not, but yes, it's definitely a thing for comedy purposes. It's one of the most like annoying SovCit things. Silence equals acceptance. Some sort of weird acquiescent shit based on some sort of weird estoppel principle that doesn't fucking exist. Anyway, that's me law whinging. 3 people will get that. So while he prefers Wazza of the clan Treaders, he did allow the court some flexibility in saying in the court documents that I answer to the name Warren Tredrea of South Australia, a private man. My yes be yes, my no be no. I am not an entity, legal person, citizen, resident, or any form of creature of statute.
Wow.
Good.
That's straight out of the SovCit legal kit.
Oh, yeah. He's downloaded the PDF and he's stuck his name where it belongs. Good work, Wazza.
Now, he claimed he could not pay the damages using Australian money, costs, I should say.
Yes.
He claimed he could not pay using Australian money because there is no gold or silver coin in circulation and that no legal debt can be settled without it. Hasn't the man got a change jar?
It's embarrassing. I've got a little bowl. I give it to delivery man for tips. It's a very nice thing. So he says, I have not been provided with any material factual evidence that shows there exists any lawful gold or silver coin of substance in common circulation upon which to close, pay, and extinguish an account. I believe sincerely that none exists. I believe no gold or silver coin in circulation can pay a debt. Thanks, Treaders.
You only need 140,000 of those $2 coins and
it's
you're away.
It's not that hard to find. I reckon I've got $200 just behind me, mate.
Look, speaking outside court later, Tredrea disputed claims he identifies as a sovereign citizen. Asked if he recognised himself as an Australian citizen, something in his court deposition he said he didn't. Tredrea said,
absolutely I do. That's just a farcical approach and attempt by Channel 9.
You said it, Treaders, not Channel 9.
Well, you know, Semantics, Jack. Semantics. I've got brain damage. They threatened to bankrupt me when these proceedings started, and that's what they're trying to do now because they forced me to appeal.
Take 5.77 million off them, mate. So no wonder they're a little miffed.
They would be. And then, of course, I am a citizen, and they've already been paid from a legal form of payment. Check all the federal acts.
Ooh, now that does sound a bit SovCity to me.
Yeah, very federal.
All of this, of course, is down to his own doing. Despite his claims outside court that Nine were seeking to bankrupt him, he came out of this fairly well initially, having lost the case but not being found liable for Nine's legal costs. But he went back for his hat, and it cost him 200 large. Well, that or a promissory note. We are yet to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, he might not pay a dime, let's face it. I mean, like, you know, there's one thing about getting a ruling against you and there's one thing about paying. Anyway, so Tredrea does remain on the board of the Port Adelaide Footy Club. He also hosts a podcast entitled Ballsy, where his guests include Pete Evans, Alex Antic, Jerry Rennick, remember him, and not for long, hopefully, and the anti-vaxxers' go-to subject for a lovely interview about medical nonsense, Peter McCulloch.
Episode 8 of Ballsy featured a conversation with a former British Army veteran who, among other things, said Zionists were responsible for controlling World War II. Whew. And also claimed the 9/11 terrorist attacks were carried out by Mossad and that Mossad created ISIS with Barack Obama, so ISIS actually stands for Israeli Specialist Intelligence Service.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I wish I'd looked into that further. Like, I was looking into this and I skipped the whole anti-Semitic thing, but that's really funny. That's so
the Australian
dumb.
The Australian Jewish Council was less than pleased.
Yeah.
And made their feelings known.
That's some cooked bullshit.
They tend to be a fairly judicious in their protests. It was just a lot of garbage. From this British Army.
I hope they didn't see the fucking A&R event.
Not
on
when
the
we talk
weekend.
about a veteran. We're talking about a 15-year veteran of Afghanistan and things like that. It's as if he was fighting the good fight in World War II. The disclaimer on this podcast, Ballsy. I just got to read this, Joel, because it's just as big as like you can see. He probably snipped it out of some sort of legal advice on the web.
Yes.
But the disclaimer is the content of this podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of any affiliated organisations like the Port Adelaide Footy Club. This podcast does not provide legal, medical, financial, or professional advice of any kind. Well, not sure about that, Treaders. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any decisions based on the content of this show.
That's a very weird thing to say.
You can buy him a coffee on his podcast, listeners. So have you got any loose change for Treaders?
Yeah.
Or maybe send him a promissory note.
I'll send him $200,000 right now.
I'm a staunch patriot. I love our country. I love our freedoms. I love that in Australia you can be anything that you want to be. There is nothing and no one stopping you from achieving your hopes, your aspirations, and your dreams.
It has been a huge week for Zippy Babbitt, who has recently discovered Far North Queensland as a concept and likes what he sees. Yeah. There's flags, there's boats, and there's no wokeness.
None.
Thank God for that. It's kind of like when that kid at school went to England and came back to tell everyone how much, like, all the things are better over there. Like, oh, the London Underground is amazing. The trains can't... Shut the fuck up, Riley. No one cares. No one's interested. Sydney's fine. Go away.
He's a Victorian senator, just to be clear.
Yes, he is a Victorian senator. But anyway, look, Babbitt went up there for some reason. I don't really understand why. And he found himself with his people. Unlike Melbourne, the shithole he technically represents as a senator for Victoria, federal government. But Cairns was anything but woke.
Not woke.
No. So he started his love affair with Far North Queensland saying this.
Far North Queensland is God's country.
Good. And then this.
We should build a big, beautiful wall to keep all those dirty Melburnians out of North Queensland.
Of course, that would
the senator for Victoria.
Yeah, like that would include him. He's built a wall and he can't pass it. Does that mean like is he like magically exempt from this for some reason because he's like not woke? Like it's it's a frustrating thing. Like, and you know, not to go off too hard, but like you see these fucking assholes wanking on about like immigration ruining the culture, destroying everything, driving up rent, driving up prices, and then they're like, no, but let's move to Bali, where we're going to drive up prices, ruin the culture, and do everything that you're upset about in Australia except from a power position. Fucking cunts.
Yeah, he went on to describe his love of FNQ in this way. One of the things I love about FNQ is that I see many more national flags flying high, unaccompanied by those dreary woke identity flags. It's a breath of fresh air. Build a big, beautiful wall. Keep the commies from Melbourne out. Protect your state. And then he's got the, what is that? What is that emoji? Is that the pondering emoji?
Pondering and a salute.
What have we got after that? Someone being hit with a brick on the head.
I think that makes more sense than a salute, to be fair. It does actually look a lot
feel like
a
hitting
brick.
my head with a brick until he stops.
Well, he's quite committed to a wall, and I guess that would be an ideal place to whack your head until you stop feeling anything. But I feel like he's done that in the past, and that's why he is what he is now. Anyway, so he retweeted himself in the comments saying this.
FNQ needs to build a big, beautiful wall. Yes, you've made that point. Melbourne's sickness, with no apostrophe, you fuck up, and mental illness must never be allowed to spread there.
Oh, bless. I tell you what, there's some stuff I took out of this script that was going to make your skin crawl with the syntax. He posted a picture of the Cairns War Memorial, which features 6 Australian flags and says this.
What do you notice about this picture?
And then it's followed with this.
Wait until you let more Melburnians into Cairns, not capitalised. They'll tear down that monument in no time and demand it LGBTQI2S+. Oh, isn't that hilarious? An Aboriginal flag, a UN flag, a Torres Strait Islander flag, which is kind of close to FNQ, champion, and 100 other flags. Replace our national flag. Melbourne is full of people who hate Australia.
The worst. They're the fucking worst. So he goes on to shit on about Melbourne a lot after that. I'm not going to read it all because like it does get kind of boring. Like Ralph's funny in short doses. Yeah. So I think I can speak on behalf of Melbourne in saying to Ralphie that he will absolutely not be missed if he were to fuck up. Just fuck off up to Cairns and just never come back. Don't build the wall. That will prevent you from leaving. So I do hope he considers it for the best of everyone. He won't, though, because he's a petty little man fueled by grievance and upset. And if he moved to his political utopia up north, he would have nothing to moan about. He would shrivel into nothing. He would die.
Well, I can give you something to moan about. What about a Cassowary just had his face off?
Yeah, I think that would be...
Those fucking dinosaurs. Just straight outright dinosaurs. Of course, they are a little bit on the endangered side. But they are hilarious beasts. There's this fantastic story about a jogger who was running in FNQ.
Oh, God.
North of Cairns, running in some sort of scrub and bumped into a cassowary, literally collided with a cassowary.
Bit of contact.
And then the cassowary sort of picked itself up, dusted itself off, looked at this bloke and said, I'm going to have your face off right now. So the bloke had to climb up a tree.
How do you get away from a bird in a tree?
And he waited there for a while, and then the cassowary sort of took off. And then he got down from the tree, and the cassowary just turned up back again. He ended up being in the tree for like 14 hours.
Can these beasts fly, or is he going up the tree for the reason?
They're like emus.
Like emus,
they've
got
these claws. They literally could just sort of knock your head off with a strike of them.
And he does look like a potato. Potatoes are food. So this is fair game.
If a cassowary saw Babs, he'd just go, wow, this is lunch and dinner.
Yeah, that's it.
He's a little chubby little shit. I'll take this bloke's face off right now.
Food for days. He'll never make it to Stereosonic because I'm going to eat him. Ah, bless. So look, it hasn't all been fun and games for our Zippy Babbitt, though. We just need to get back to the reality of situations. Always with these people, under their joy is a layer of sadness. And he's lost faith in his dear leader, who, until now, has done nothing but put America first while putting woke last.
Yeah.
Good. It's been winning. Winning is the best government ever. So, like many MAGA morons, Babbitt is all fucked up over the decision not to release the Epstein files. Yeah, he's not having a good time. He's like, this is like welfare check sort of shit. So, in reality, it's not going to kill him, but it's going to harm him. So let's just go through like a bit of a timeline.
Psychological harm.
Exactly, which is kind of his favorite, I think. I think he's got a bit of a kink for that. Babbitt's discontent started with a quote tweet from account Doge Designer at CB_Doge, which simply said, release the Epstein files, to which Babbitt added a crucial yep, which is very important to do a quote tweet if you have to say something really incisive and interesting.
You could just repost,
like yep.
Or you could just say yep.
No, you don't repost. You need to add your thoughts. Yep. It's very important. I'm really glad he felt the need to grace us with that genius insight. He goes on to comment in more detail, though, saying this.
The US Department of Justice and FBI conducted an exhaustive review of Jeffrey Epstein's digital and physical files, uncovering over 300 gigabytes of material, mostly images and videos of child exploitation. No evidence was found of a, in inverted brackets, client list for some reason, or that Epstein blackmailed high-profile individuals. Epstein's suicide in 2019 was confirmed by autopsy and video footage. Not really. No one entered his tier. What? Between 10:40 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. His tier. What's he talking about, Dan? He's talking about prison cell, you fuck up. The DOJ concluded there is no basis for further disclosure, citing the need to protect victims and the lack of evidence implicating additional uncharged parties. To me, this screams cover-up, Mossad, MI6, and the CIA, all likely involved. And he's gone there with his deep appreciation of intelligence services.
Mm-hmm.
God, what a fuckwit. Anyway.
Yeah. So, look, Babbitt has also been relentlessly retweeting Elon Musk post, calling for the files to be released, with one that says, this one here, it's a classic, and it's definitely, it's one for the records.
Oh, what's the time? Oh, look, it's no one has been arrested o'clock again over a picture of the official Jeffrey Epstein pedophile arrest count at 0000. Well, it was Ghislaine Maxwell. She's doing 20 years, so that's one.
Yes, exactly. And, like, let's face it, like, you know, it's one, but also, like, the next one's probably Trump. Anyway, so he quote tweets that again later, which I assume was because he sort of forgot he'd already done that. But then he did it again. So it's that whole like Bush thing, right? Like quote tweet me once, shame on you. Quote twice. You can't quote tweet me twice. Never mind. One of the quote tweets says this.
This smells of a Mossad COI and MI6. Doesn't say MI5 because MI6 is the clandestine one, you know. So he's that across it.
He's learned his shit. Yeah, good. He's kind of said that though, hasn't he? Like he's sort of already said it's good though. No, let's reinforce the point. So also a classic meme with that clown putting on the makeup in Faces.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And it says this.
We will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk. There is no Epstein list.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dear. That's upsetting. Oh, dear. So, as usual, Zippy felt the need to quote tweet that and add the word strong and a few 100% emojis. That's important commentary as usual. That's what the taxpayers are paying for. But then he quote tweets the same post again with this.
Mossad, MI6, and CIA all likely involved. I think he's tweeted that 3 times now.
I think he said that. Has he said that? I feel like he said that. Okay. You know, I'm skipping a lot of tweets in this, right? Like, this is just like grazing the fucking surface. There's so much. This guy's a fucking machine. He just spends his entire time on Twitter. So he doesn't want to quite ditch Trump, though. He still has faith. He said, somewhat repeating himself here as well,
President Trump is doing a great job apart from the Epstein situation. It's not files anymore. It's a situation. That is, in my opinion, a fail and a clear Mossad, CIA, and potentially MI6 cover-up. They're just potentially MI6 are involved there.
MI6
they're a fuckwit for a whole host of reasons. But the other one, but the most important one here is, that is, in my opinion, it's your Twitter account, you fuck up. Whose opinion would it be other than yours, man?
Oh, I love the end of this season because it makes you so upset. Oh, he's an idiot.
Fucking dumbass piece of shit.
He really is.
Who else?
He's not a smart man. So he also quote tweeted Gunter Eagleman, who's just a perpetually online right-wing Twitter personality. He's just like, I don't know why he exists and why we care. But he posted a Tucker Carlson video alleging that Epstein worked on behalf of the Israeli government. And then he tweeted. So this is Babbitt's caption.
Now, it's a pretty safe bet that Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficked, it's not a verb, anyway, sex trafficked children and ran a blackmail operation for Israel with the support of the United States.
So the MI6 is gone now.
No, MI6, it's just potentially.
It's just the CIA and Mossad now. And we saw before, potentially, but now they're just gone. Like, I mean, he's bumped them out, which is a real shame. I think MI6 do great work. I think they're really getting knocked off here. Anyway, and quote tweeting Mr. Eagleman again, who said this.
Release the fucking, without the U, Epstein files and prosecute the motherfuckers, again without the U, who raped with an
ass symbol,
children, so we can move on from all this SHT. I presume you mean shit. Give the victims the justice they deserve.
Well, it was a quote tweet, so he added a very important comment, which was, yes.
Yes, in my opinion.
Just yes. It's embarrassing as fuck. But it is inherently in his opinion. It doesn't need to be said, but of course, previously he did feel the need to say. Anyway, fuck me. So look, now, I don't want to read out everything that Babbitt retweets or quote tweets about Epstein because there's so much. I'm skipping tons of this. But this is where it all comes undone, where he quotes the Hodge twins, which is a creepy right-wing account run by these two twins, but they never really stipulate which one's posting. So like, which Hodge? Anyway, I don't care. They said this.
Anybody saying to just get over the Epstein list cannot be trusted.
Ooh.
That includes Trump.
It does, doesn't it? Oh, implicated. So he quote tweets the Hodge twins, and I mean, basically he's second guessing his dear leader here. I mean, that's Trump they're talking about, Babbitt here. You know, your loyalty is surely stronger than this. The one rule in MAGA is loyalty to Trump. Yeah. Think of all the migrants he's deporting. Not like you're a good one. Like all the other migrants.
You don't reckon that was Babs burning all those red hats he's got?
No,
there was a very prominent image of someone just chucking about 4 in a barbecue and just letting rip.
I don't think he's quite ready yet, but I tell you what, he's fucking he's storming up. He's storming up. But look, I just say, look, you know, you're fighting wokeness. Wokeness is being fought. Just don't lose faith. Trust the plan, okay? You know, we got to really trust the plan here. Just don't lose faith. That's my message.
Yeah.
So he does a Twitter poll, which we all know is a scientific measurement of public
Twitter
opinion.
polls.
It's very important. Yes, very much so. And it says this.
The question was, President Trump says Epstein really did kill himself. No client list, no trafficked kids, no powerful predators. Do you believe him? Personally, he's done it again. I think he's done it twice.
Yeah.
Personally, I think we're witnessing one of the biggest cover-ups of our time, but I want to hear from you. Cover up or no cover up, drop a comment. Personally, I think. We know what you fucking think. It's your fucking Twitter account, you fucking dumb cunt.
Oh, I love this.
Sorry, everyone.
No, this is why I wake up in the morning. I love this shit. This is great. So cover up wins, surprisingly, 92.4% of the vote. That's like, you know, that's Pol Pot numbers there.
Yeah, that's enough. That's
27-32 votes. That's a sample. I'll take that. You know, Newspol will do that, and they'll get put in the papers. So are you trying to tell me that President Trump lied? Because I need to sit down to handle this because I never thought of him as a dishonest man. This is very painful for me. I'm having a real reckoning here, and I feel like my entire basis of being is challenged. But look, I could read out a whole bunch of other tweets, and this could go on all day because he was really on a tear. But as we said in the recent Black Label episode, the decision to not only release, like, just refuse to release the full story on Epstein, but then to basically deny these people any of their conspiracy stories is dividing the MAGA movement in a way we just haven't seen before. You know, this is bad.
Something.
I mean, like a dog chasing a car. These people were all full of fucking beans talking shit from the sidelines, but now they finally caught the car and they're all secretaries of something. They don't know what the fuck to do. Kash Patel's there just being like, he didn't kill himself. I've seen the evidence. Please don't talk to me again. I am so sad.
3 minutes missing on that video, mate.
He's not interested. He doesn't care.
3 minutes missing on the video there, according to analysis. There's 3 minutes missing.
Yeah, there's 3 magic minutes, but there's also all sorts of other stuff that
It
just
was
doesn't
one,
exist.
now it's 3 apparently.
Yeah, and that's part of the malfunction and God knows what else. So, look, half the team wants to basically just jump in the car and trust the plan, but I think the other half wants to bite the tires and sort of see what happens. Maybe they'll, fuck
they've
that
been
car
promised
up.
this, you see. If you've
They
been
have.
promised something, you expect it. And
Absolutely.
when it doesn't happen, you get angry.
That's right. And basic people get angry very quickly because they sort of have like happy and angry switches. And it kind of like there's not a lot of midpoint because there's like a real like base level like monkey sort of brain going on here. So Babbitt's a lot of things. He's an idiot. He's a wanker. He's a tool. But like Pete, I think of him as a bit of a canary in the coal mine. So this dickhead is terminally online and has the exact brain the MAGA ecosystem targets. Yep. He's gullible, he's stupid, and most importantly, he's proud.
He is.
And that means that he will never go back on the gullible and stupid shit that he's believed. So he's a fucking perfect prototype for this sort of shit. And the fact that he's in the Senate is just working out beautifully for him. So if he's starting to lose faith in his hero, Donald Trump, that is fucking terrible news for Donnie because he's one of the last people I can imagine starting to really slip. Man, like, look, I would say in a normal situation, midterms are coming. And if MAGA stays home for the election, it's going to be a bloodbath. But I tell you what, the canary is chirping. And by chirping, I mean the canary is dead. Because
dying.
As we spoke...
No, it's gone. It's all gone.
No, we spoke earlier about this whole idea that Obama is about to be sentenced to death for treason. And Babbitt's gone from non-stop Epstein to non-stop, yes, Obama's going to get shot.
Quite strange, isn't it, from a man of colour? But anyway, there's no reckoning with the stupidity of Zippy Babbitt. He really is a special moron. He's a special boy. He's a special boy.
He's a good-looking boy. But you dangle keys in front of these people and they just work.
And you have been listening to the Conditional Release program with your host, Jack the Insider and Joel Hill.
Taking a sip of my beer. Jack can be found on Twitter on @JackTheInsider and Joel and @CurrentRose with a K. It's our Facebook page. You can find fairly easily. Just look up the Conditional Release program. There's also the Conditional Release program shitposting group, which is fantastic and has lots of good stuff on it. It's really quite good.
Yeah, look, we have a Patreon, as we said at the front of the show, to help keep this sustainable. It's bloody time-consuming, and we still have to pay the rent. Help us keep the lights on. Now, anybody saying to just get over the Epstein list cannot be trusted.
That's right.
But we will trust you if you give us as little as $5 a month. And you'll have access to all sorts of bonus content, including a weekly premium episode. We try to make it worth your while.
You must.
And finally, all feedback, tips, and death threats should be sent to the Conditional Release Program @gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, even if it's to tell us that you're joining the Patreon, but paying us in gold. And you're all out of gold.
That's right.
We'll need a promissory note.
Well, that's what we're going to need. We're going to need a note. A note, please.
Thanks, listeners. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
I don't think I ever want to talk to any of those people.
Fuck me! You guys are bastards!